So this is a short example of some of the stuff that I have to do before insulation goes in, excluding all of the plumbing supply, because I don't have any of that done. I do have all of the plumbing drains done and a lot of the wiring. So a few things that I've done and go over. This is the baseboard and thermostat. The baseboard heat comes up through the floor there, jumps around that box, goes to here, and that's the feed. And then this goes under the floor over here, over to that box there. I know that's not like the typical way of wiring a baseboard, but it'll work. It's some definitive place where it comes out, instead of just a wire poking through the hole, poking through the wall, which I don't know why, it just never seemed right to me. Next up would be range hood power, which is kind of as you would expect, just an outlet box up high on the wall, directly over top of the range power itself. That's I forget exactly what that is, but it's for 50 amp, 240 volt with the line and ground, not line, what is it? Neutral, with neutral and ground. Countertop power. What that meant is from downstairs, I have this bundle of wires that I ran, and that's the two different phases coming to the box. And not that box, wait, yes, this box, because this is 12.3, which for some unknown reason is, no, I'll have to check the prices. I thought 12.3 was like stupidly expensive compared to 12.2. I don't remember. So I just ran these two, and then I only have to run one jumper wire between the boxes. So these two come from the panel on each one's a different phase with a tie bar, and then you can nut to this guy and then just run one wire to each box, you know, feed and output, and that's your two 20 amp circuits. So you can have 40 amps coming through here. That's like 5,000 watts of power. And that just continues along here. No point on a countertop more than 2 feet away. So yeah, fancy, right? I had also pre-wired for all of my under cabinet lights, which is going to be 3 instances in this case. So that's going to be that one, and then a corner. That's where the range is going to go, and then you can see another box in the middle there, and that's the far right side. Fridge power, that's one of those other wires that I brought up from downstairs you saw already. Shower half wall blocking. So what that means is above the, so here's the shower stall that we got. I didn't tell anything about this, but it was $380. It was a I forget what, it was a second, like a factory second from Clarion Bathware in Shippenville, PA, which is somewhat local to us. 380 bucks is pretty good price for this. I don't know what it'd retail for, maybe 700, maybe 1,000. The special thing about this tub is it has extra reinforcing. You can see here's the reinforcing and here's not reinforced. And then there's some extra panels like there and whatnot. And that's because that model number is actually the same one that I was looking for. Like I had pre-selected a shower before I went there to look to see what they had, because you can't just call them up and say, hey, what do you have in stock? You have to go there and look. Luckily enough, this was the ADA, well, maybe not ADA, but the handicap access one. It's not ADA because, well, I don't know. Do all ADA ones have to have like a cutout to roll in? I'm not sure. But it has the extra blocking in the back for handholds. Anyways, the half wall blocking is just that guy there, and then I'll use this light box and then another block there, and then I can frame a short wall over there, and I'll put that stopping like here-ish above the shower, and that'll keep all the hot air in. And then your shower curtain isn't flying up against you, which is like one of the most annoying things in the world to me. Smoke detector lighting circuit. So that's that guy in the main living space, and this guy in the bedroom, and that's what the inspector said that we had to have. I didn't realize you couldn't just use a battery powered one. You have to hardwire it, and it's just connected to a normal lighting circuit that we have here in our laundry hallway. But it has to be a lighting circuit that you would know if it's dead. Yeah, range power, we already got that. I say nursery wall blocking because my wife and I, you know, we want to be prepared. And I put that in. That wall would go here in the middle of the screen, and I put in 3 blocks so that once we put in the drywall, we'd have, or no, yeah, once we put in the drywall, we can just frame a wall underneath there and add a wall when we ever have a kid and need this to be an extra room. We would have to add another one of those windows there in the middle of the wall to make it egress. So that would be one of the few changes that we'd have to make that a bedroom. Additionally, I moved some of the wires for the electric dryer, because they were coming out way over there. And so I've pretty much pre-framed this for a door, and it doesn't quite have the top plate that you would expect, but it's good enough. And then if we ever have to make that a bedroom, all I have to do is extend this outlet into the wall. Well, we wouldn't be using that outlet, which is like an outlet over like a folding table storage area thing. And then we just have to move that light switch probably to maybe behind this wall here, right there. Yeah, so it wouldn't take a whole lot to make this another bedroom. It already has its own separate light. It may look a little bit goofy with the sconce in the corner, but the other sconces are kind of close to the corner too. Structured box screws that I got done. This is a Rayco box, and it had to be screwed in to this structured wiring box. So that's what I did there. Then I could put in the outlet. I don't have any Decker up plates. And then here's the rest of the structured wiring box. This was like Cat 5 cable that I had. And I think that'll be okay, but I ran out, so I needed to get more wire. And this is Cat 6. I got a 1,000-foot roll of Cat 6 from Monoprice. So that should take care of a lot of my networking. I have like a separate run already ran for an outside security camera, and then 2 feeds to the downstairs. And yeah, just lots of feeds in different places. And then this is Quad Shield RG6. And that's run to a bunch of different places too. So we're not going to be running wires everywhere. And kind of a big reason why I'm doing this is the downstairs is going to have like 16 inches of insulation or something like that. And it has to be, sorry, under this floor here, we got to have 16 inches of insulation. Don't have to, but that's what I want. And drywall. So I can't easily like do things after the fact. It's not going to be like a house basement where it's open and accessible and you just punch holes and stick wires wherever you want. So I kind of have to prepare and put everything where I want it. And did you guys see this? This is a Ferguson dryer box down through the floor. And the cool thing about this one is I ordered it at like 4 o'clock in one day, and it came in the mail from Virginia 16 hours later. So I don't know what sort of spaceship they shipped it on, but good job, Ferguson. Yep. Told you about that. Told you about that. What else? I still haven't gotten my ERV shipped, and also along with that, it was going to be on the same pallet as the mini split system. So I'm still waiting for that. And then I'll go over a few things that I still have to do still. Separate pendant switch, I decided to make our main island lights, which are these 4 guys in the row here, off of a separate switch instead of being along with all the cans. I should pre-wire for a garage door opener and then blocking to actually mount it. Oh yeah, I had to order some more RG6 to run to the far corner over there, because I don't know where I'm going to have like a desk, and I think that corner might be one of them. Well, no, RG6. So I don't know where we're going to put the TV exactly. I mean, I had already wired for like TV on the wall and stereo and all that junk here, but my wife's like, oh, what if we want to move it? I'm like, well, okay, I'll put another one in that corner. Whatever. ERV. I'm going to use that as the bathroom exhaust. At least that'll be one of the exhaust ports for the ERV. So I need to run a separate switch for that into the bathroom over there. And that way you could, you know, if you drop a big one or you take a steamy shower, you can turn on the ERV and that's going to evacuate that air. Or I might also wire it up with like a timer, so you could do a 20-minute timer, or you could just flip the switch and it'll be on, which we'd probably do if we're like here. But if we're not here, we don't really need the ERV running, or maybe we'll just leave it on like a timer. Mini split plower, I still have to run that. I might run that this evening. And floor heat wiring. So for our bathroom, I have to run a wire for floor heat, and then also a place to put the thermostat, I guess. Over here I have, ooh, that screw's kind of close. Over here I have, I guess where I'm going to need to put an extra box for the ERV switch and then an extra box for the thermostat. I don't really have enough room to put in like a 6-gang box or anything. I don't even know if those exist. Yeah, it shouldn't be too hard, but I might have to move this wire to the other stud. And I don't have enough wire for that, so I'll have to maybe pull another wire. No choice. Oh, another thing that I was, thinking about, a place to hang your towel. Instead of trying to attach it to the drywall, I put in some blocking for that. So you get out of the shower and your towel's hanging securely right there. And we might put another one on this other corner too, but this is all wood, so that's fine. Another thing that I have to add to that list that I have in there is the outdoor power. So I'm going to run a separate 20 amp circuit for this. I'm doing all 20 amp circuits, which I guess is somewhat unstandard, but if I'm doing it, the wire and the outlets are like a minimal extra cost, and it's just that much better. So smart. And then along with that 20 amp circuit stuff, I have a separate circuit here a separate pool, which I think is, I don't know, I have it marked. I have all of these marked. Amp. Yeah, there it is. So this one, marked amp, is going to be for the stereo amplifier, or surround sound as it may be, because they can draw up to like 600 amps, or not 600 amps, that's crazy. 600 watts, 1000 watts, something if you have a subwoofer on there. And I don't want it to be affecting any of the other electronics or lights or any of that. So it's got its own dedicated circuit. Another thing that I ran, and because it's somewhat less accessible than anything else, this is pre-wired for a wireless access point. And I ran 2 wires because you can't access this after the fact. After it's insulated, it's kind of just stuck up there forever. So I ran 2 wires just in case one's bad or you screw into one or whatever. And then there's a large wood block around it because that's where you screw it to. I haven't selected one yet, so I haven't like figured out exactly how it's going to mount, and I want like future proofing. So I added, just a bunch of wood so that it has somewhere to screw to. And sometimes you have to get creative. Instead of spending a whole bunch of money on a wire spool, we just made this out of an old trash can lid and an old dented dog bowl, or mixing bowl, or whatever it is. We use a lot of stainless steel bowls like that in our veterinary hospital. And then a swivel carabiner hook, so that allows it to spin. Real fancy. Oh, and then at the top here, I just have a wire hook, so I can move that around real easy.